Hello everyone, this is Anne from Odulcina Scrap. Today I want to present you my Odulcina notebooks or prayer journals, eventually gratitude journals. These are available on Amazon and it's been a project I've been working on, like figuring out how to create those and create my accounts with Amazon to have them. It's the print on demand, so it is available worldwide. Um, I have them available in French and in English, mostly for Christian believers, but I have some that are just plain for just as notebooks. So most of the designs I create them in English, in French, and just with the design, not specifically for a journal prayer or something like that. But today, this video is for you Christian believers who would like to get some notebooks or prayer journals. I want to show you the inside because the plain notebooks, they're pretty plain. They're just lines, not really anything to say. All the links will be in the description below. So, and I'll separate them by plain notebooks, French content, and English content. So you don't mix up and you order the wrong one if you want. But I'm adding, like, I have more than that on Amazon. I just didn't order a copy for myself yet. And depending on if there's a good feedback about that and interest, I will create more different covers. So I wanted to do something in French first for Christian believers because there is almost no material in French at all. So, of course, if I do it in French, I'll do it in English as well. But my first goal was to provide some French tools for Christian believers, as I live in a country province that we speak French as the primary language here in Quebec, Canada. So it was also important for me to give to the Lord a portion of the gift He gave me to create designs and do that kind of stuff. And doing the notebook, the prayer journals, it totally calls me. So I'm currently working on a gratitude journal, and this will be a masterpiece, I can tell you. I've been working on the gratitude journal for weeks, even months now, here and there, of course, but because I need to kind of have a reflection and do something great. All right, so let me show you. I ordered one in English for the prayer journal so I can show you. All right, so the prayer journal, the first pages, you have some verses, Bible verses related to praying, the faith, God listening and answering prayers. You have some spots where you can add more Bible verses or your own thoughts. But most of the core of the journal are repetitive pages, as you can see, to write down your prayers. So the repetitive pages are a set of 2 pages. On the left side, you have a header for praying for, and here you can write down the name of someone, the name of a situation that you want to pray for, and you can put a date there. It's light gray there, so it doesn't take too much of the page, the focus of the page, but it's there. So you write down the date. You can put a subject in the praying for section there or the name of someone, and you have those 2 pages to write down the prayer. If your prayer is short and sweet, that's okay. You can use the remaining for, you can go through your Bible and find some Bible verses that are promises from God related to the prayer. let's say for the fate of one of your children that you want to pray for, that God gives the grace to your kid to become Christian and a believer, you can write down a short and sweet prayer there, but you can go get all the Bible verses related to that you and your family will serve the Lord and that kind of stuff. And the other page there, you have a testimony section with a date, of course, because one day you'll come back to your journal and you can put a date and a testimony of when God answered the prayer. It can be years later, it can be days later, it can be months later or minutes later. But at some point I'm thinking that if that prayer book is filled completely and you have even a set of 2 or 3 over the time, you can look back to those prayers that you've done and remember all of what you've been asking to the Lord and how He answered them. So it's kind of a record book of prayers and answers from the Lord. And for that idea, I love it. This made me think about, I'm working on the gratitude journal, but the next one that I want to work on would be like a miracle journal. Like every time that, I don't know, something special happened in our life and we consider it as not a coincidence, we could write it down there. And again, like the prayers, that would be like a record of all little details and big details of things that God has done for us listed there that we can come back and read and remember. The last 4 pages are prayer lists. So the prayer list is pretty simple. It's just a prayer request, and you can write down when the prayer is answered. But I don't expect that much that the prayer is answered quickly there, because what I see there is more a prayer request for, and you would name people that you want to pray for them over and over, like your spouse, your children, your pastor, specific people or specific situation where it's not like you're looking for a miracle or a specific, or it is not necessarily a specific prayer request. It is just that when you pray, you want to remember to pray for those people. So you can kind of have a list there, and sometimes you might want to remove someone from the list because whatever you were praying for, the situation changed and you don't need to pray anymore. So this is where you can either say prayer answered or you can write down a little note there. But this would be typically the page where you would go in prayer and you would look at it and remember for who you want to pray for. And the last page, it's again a Bible verse, just to finish the book. That is the prayer journal. So you have a girly version with the roses, and you have this is the version in French, so you can see Je prie pour, témoignage, and you have all the Bible verses there. It's really the same layout, it's just in French. And this one is typically a little bit more for maybe a man or a young boy. So these are the prayer journals. There's another one that I don't have. Then I created some just notebooks. So you have this one. In French, it's Il est le chemin, la vérité, la vie, which is He is the truth, the way. I cannot translate it correctly, but that Bible verse, and you have the Bible verse there, and I've been inspired because of the little street road there. So He is the way, you know. So this one is good for a woman and a man, I was thinking. And this one is more for a woman, I would say. So in French, notebook is livret de notes. So, and you always have it on the side as well, as you can see. The side is decorated and the back. So when we look inside, it is mostly lined papers. But at the beginning, you still have Bible verses related to God, promises to you, and kind of one of the best Bible verses that I find related to Christian faith. So, of course, you can add more, and then you have the pages where you have kind of a grayish other section where you can write down a title there. So, I'm using those notebooks for the sermon notes. So, I would put the date, the title of the sermon, if there's a title. Mostly my pastor always gives us a title, so I would put the title, and I typically put the date in that corner there and who was the pastor or if it was a guest speaking that day. And then I go with my notes and I keep going on, and the next time it's another sermon, I use the header again to kind of separate and create sections. But it can be used just for journaling. It can be used for a Bible study, to add some notes here and there in your life, whatever, right? It's just that it contains Bible verses. So it's mostly for Christian believers. And so that's it. That's what I wanted to present you. My Odulcina journals that you can get on Amazon. Thanks for watching, and let me know how you find that. Thanks. God bless you. Bye bye.